Technical difficulties, folks. Hold up. There we go. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they surveyed and interviewed over 900 ABA professionals from all over the world in regards to JRC's quote-unquote behavioral treatment program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Read and share on all your social media. You're also going to see linked NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threats. We also have all the links in regards to the Agape boarding school situation that I have come across thus far. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri for quote-unquote rebellious male teens that has currently, and counting, 19 lawsuits against it alleging child physical abuse, sexual abuse, labor exploitation, and let's see here, starvation. There's a long list. So please look and read at those articles, all right? We also have linked there change.org, very obviously titled Shut Agape Boarding School Down Petition. We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, or as I like to call it, 30 years of receipts. 30 plus, excuse me. I forget, I'm getting old. As well as the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do have young children present, please use your headphones, all right? Okay. It's 3:47. My brain is melted, and I can, obviously stumbling over words here. So, if I do that throughout the video, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so 132. Where we left off yesterday. Records and staff indicate that once placed, very few students transition out of JRC to a less restrictive environment prior to aging out. Accurate, but they're going to tell me, but that's not true. Let's see what bullshit smoke they're going to blow up our ass today, okay? This statement incorrectly asserts that most JRC students stay until they age out and few transition to less restrictive environment. JRC does not systematically keep statistics on this information, so it's unclear what facts New York is basing this statement on. Oh, my God, you cell-phoned. You literally fucking just cell-phoned. Well, we don't know if what they're saying is true or not because we don't keep records of it. Really? What New York is basing it on is off of the students that they do have records on, that they keep track of. They are saying, out of their students that go to your fucking school, that it is extremely rare for them to transition out to less restrictive settings before aging out at age 21. And how do they know this? Where are they basing this out of? Are they pulling it out of their ass? No. It's because New York keeps track of their own fucking students. It's not that very hard, JRC, considering the fact that there's usually just a handful of the students at the school. So, it is pretty easy to make this statement in regards to their state's own students. It is a small enough number that it's easy to keep track of, but it's a large enough number to set a pretty good precedent for the rest of the fucking school. But moving on. As a student, their treatment diminishes as students show their ability to function well under increasingly normal arrangements. What they mean by that, of course, is to act neurotypical. That is the whole basis behind ABA, to force us to act like everyone around us. Whether that fits with our neurology or not. You are forcing us to act like you. Talk like you, be like you, handle social situations like you, when we are not like you. We never will be. That is why masking is so goddamn exhausting and draining. It takes fucking monumental effort. Monumental effort. It's also extremely traumatizing. What they mean by function well, by acting like everyone else. What that really means is we, as autistic and disabled human beings, are not good enough to be loved and accepted by society as who we are. Where we may get help with some of our more extreme behaviors. We might get help with our triggers, what causes the more harmful parts of our disability. But that the things that make us stick out. See what I mean? Yeah. Oh, you can be whoever you want to be, except you autistic people. You have to become us. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because normal has been so fucking romanticized inside the fucking medical model, it's insane. It's literally insane. The goal is for you to be like everyone else. Have you seen everybody else? Because that's a whole lot of mess that I want nothing to do with. Just saying. Moving on. When students first arrive at JRC, they live in one of our larger and highly staffed residences that specialize in handling new admissions. Each of these intake residences serves 8 to 12 students. As the students' behavior improve, however, they advance to smaller homes and apartments that have fewer staff members and students, some as few as 4 students, which allow for more privileges. You see that? Again, remember the fact that they consider food a privilege. Think about that. You have to earn your right to the things that every single neurotypical student is just given. They don't have to earn it. It's automatically there. Oh, but if you're disabled or going to one of these schools like Agape or JRC, you have to earn the right to be treated like everybody else. Insane, isn't it? There are 5 categories of residences: intake residence, intermediate residence, high privileges residence, high privilege apartments, and transitional apartments and residences. Yeah, I'm sure there are. Where you have cameras still everywhere. And if they go back into a behavior, how long do you let them stay in those apartments? It's still garbage, JRC. You're still garbage. Okay? And remember that they say maybe only 4 students get to use those apartments and residences. So if it's only a small amount of your entire fucking school population that gets the right to be in these transitional apartments and residences, what good are they? What good is that doing the rest of the students in your fucking school? Which means you only give real transition services to an elite few. You see that, right? You see that? It's garbage, which means it gives the rest of the students absolutely no help whatsoever in regards to transition services. You don't get to pat yourself on the back because, yay, we do it right with 4 fucking people. Really? Really? That's your defense. 4 kids. That's your defense. Wow. By the way, using those 4 kids against New York's argument here, very few students transition out of JRC. You mentioned the 4 students in those apartments. You realize you're confirming what New York's saying, right? Right? After moving through these steps, students transition out of JRC entirely if their behaviors permit this. Here we go again. You only get transition services if you earn them. Any other program, you are put in transition services, period. Period. It's not something you have to earn. It's something that is considered a right for a disabled person. I didn't have to earn my right to transition services. Renee did not have to earn her right to transition services. All the people that were my neighbors back in my assisted living days did not have to earn their right to transition services. It was a part of their program. They didn't have to do right behaviors or perform like a fucking circus seal in order to get these rights and be able to transition out. They didn't have to fucking earn it by pretending to be something they're not. We just got them as a part of transitioning out into the world from fucking school when you're disabled. You shouldn't have to earn these services. They should be hammered in paramount. It should be automatic. When a student hits a certain age, transition services should start. Period. Period. There is no earning it. There's no, if their behaviors allow, if your student's hitting a certain age, transition services should start immediately. Immediately. Yeah, this whole school's a joke. For example, this has been the case with one student who's now a sophomore at Brooklyn College. They use the token kids, and it's always the quote-unquote most high-functioning that they use it to. Your one kid doesn't speak for the thousands of kids still stuck in your hellhole. Another transitioned to a day student while a student at JRC and is now living on her own and attending a local community college. Several other students have transitioned back to their local public high school. Have they? Records? I can't just take your word for that, JRC. How many of them have done this? See, New York wants numbers, not lip service, not your vague bullshit. Because I guarantee you, it's just like when they choose the token worst student, they're choosing the token best students to cover their ass, and the numbers just don't work. Especially when the JRC doesn't even fucking know their own numbers. Convenient, isn't it? I'm gonna go ahead and close out on that. We don't get very many reviews on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.